Hello, welcome to Corriere dello Sport, an Italian sport magazine.
Thank you so much.
First of all, when did you get the idea of making a movie about Zlatan and why? It's for Jens Sjogren.
Thank you for having us. The idea didn't come from me. From the first, it was the film is partly based on a book that David Lagercrantz and Zlatan wrote together. I Am Zlatan. And the producers, Fredrik, Frida, and Matthias, bought the option to do it. And then they started the whole process. And I think in the beginning, Zlatan wasn't that fond of making a movie because there had been a lot of documentaries and stuff like that. But then something happened, and David and Jakob, the other author, started to write it. So I was hooked on like 2 years ago or something like that. But I think the whole idea was that it was an extremely intense book. It was written from a perspective we didn't seen before in Sweden, about a boy from a part of Sweden, which is not that common that we get those kind of stories. And of course, it's a coming-of-age story, which is kind of amazing. And for a director, I was in the beginning a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to do a movie about Zlatan, because Zlatan is Zlatan, and I met Zlatan, and I love him, and he's a really cute guy. And I don't say that because I have to. He really is. But he's also Zlatan, you know. He's like, so I was like, okay, and he's still an active person. Often you do biopics about persons that are dead or are not longer active. So I think it all was when we decided that this is the film about the untold story, because no one can do what Zlatan does better than himself. No one. I'm sorry. But these guys are amazing in the film.
Yeah, sure.
I must give them. It came out much better than I ever thought, but still Zlatan is Zlatan. And so when we decided that the Ajax part should be like a frame story, and then the coming of age of Zlatan would be like the core story, I was really affected with it. And when we also found the story about the father and the son that are going in clinch, blah, blah, blah. So I thought it was like, this is an untold story with an amazing ending. And if we would come with this story based on a true story, everyone would say like, come on, are you kidding? So I think that's why it was an untold amazing story that I think kids would love to see.
But now we expecting a second part of Zlatan, because you have to talk about from Juventus to the end of his career.
Yeah, that's really amazing that you like. No, but the thing is, when I actually, when we wrapped the whole, I was like, I would never do a biopic again. But when I see the trailer, and I'm my worst enemy. I have so difficulties to love what I do, but I have looked a lot towards football players and stuff like that, and we felt how it was to go up like a gladiator on the pitch when people are just yelling ba 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 ba, and that was the best like experience for me, because I was like, I'm not a soccer player, never I would be. And of course you would love to be in the environment of Juventus, Inter, Milan, not maybe that much of England, but I mean, Italy is almost his first home. It's almost more of his home than Sweden in one way, so that would be amazing. But give me the budget and I will do it.
Okay.
Because that cost would come up.
So I have two questions for the guys, for the Zlatan on the pitch. So I saw the pics of you with Zlatan on Instagram. I don't know, both of you told, for me he's an idol. I think it's you who wrote it.
Yes.
So how was your feeling when you met him alive?
First, when I saw him, I was like, shit, you know, I meet Zlatan. But after like 10 minutes or something like that, I got very confident with him, because he was talking very much with us, and we got calm. So he made it very, very easy for us. So it was nice.
And for you too?
It's like the same, but yeah, Zlatan is a very nice person, and he was getting us comfortable, and it was like I have met him before, you know. So yeah.
You have the same voice of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Do you know it?
No.
You have the same now. You have the same voice.
But the
It
English.
scares me a little bit.
Yeah, but I know. But we worked really much with that because in
Yeah,
the
I
beginning
know.
we were really that's something people needs to know, that we did our own Zlatan. Zlatan told us, "Do your own Zlatan. I won't interfere with your film. Do your own." And during the shoot, we never talked about what would Zlatan have done. We always talked about what would our Zlatan have done,
Okay.
and it's based totally on his experience, and he's written under everything. But the thing was, when we started to work with the voice, with the and bring it up a little bit, because we don't need to do a film that's everything is like, oh, he looks exactly the same, blah blah blah. But when you started to learn how to talk like him, it was like the character came alive. He got wider, like everything came. But I also have to say that they act really cool now. They're like, yeah, he's such a nice guy, and it was like he was really friendly. But during the whole shoot, we're like, let's do our own fucking movie. But they were always like, when can I meet Zlatan? when can I meet him? You were always, I need to meet him. Come on! It was almost like, are you doing this shit just to meet Zlatan? It was almost more like. But I was so emotional when they met him. I wasn't there, but I saw that you were really, really moved.
I've got the last question for you. It's not easy, but you can do to interpret Zlatan on screen. But it is quite impossible to play like him on pitch. So you were scared to play, no?
Because I'm a football player by myself. And all my life, they always told me that when Zlatan was young, he had like same style as me today, you know. So I didn't have a problem with the football scenes. It was just about like acting. It was a little bit much harder because I never did it before.
Okay.
But when I got into it, because Jens helped me very much from the beginning, like when we first met, from the first time we first met, I learned so much until we got to the shooting. So
Okay.
football scenes, no problem.
You were really cocky about that. No, that's not a problem. I was like, Elastico? That's not a problem. Choo-choo. And all the football you see in the movie is him. So it was also something really, really cool. Like, we don't trick that at all. That's why the camera could go from his feet up to his face without a cut and anything. And it keeps the momentum going, I think. So that's something you've done before.
The only problem I thought I had in my mind when I had the football scenes, because my knee is ligament, you know.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
The second time now, and I didn't have a ligament, and I did the shooting with football, so it was very hard. But
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.